Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. But anyway, quick update. Try and make this a short video before over the holidays. I'm really not going to be able to do too much, but show you what has happened just recently. So I've ordered more differentials off of eBay. These two here are 7-inch and they have matching gearing. So I may be using these. Problem is, they say the 7-inch Sierra diff is sort of max power, it seems to be 380, 350. And the 7.5, which looks almost identical, it's very hard to tell the difference. The real giveaway is the slot here, whereas this cover doesn't come over. It's only about 12 millimeters. It's about 12 millimeters wider from width to width for a bigger 7.5-inch ring gear. These two 7.5, but I cannot find matching gearing. I can buy a 391 ring gear, but it's about 400 quid just for the gear. Whereas these two are 392, so it's a slight difference. So little bit is the transmission guy might say that's so small a difference it doesn't make any difference. If that's true, then I can run a 392 front, a 391 rear if I buy that ring gear, because that's a 2-wheel drive RS 500 Cosworth diff, which is very hard to find because it has the bigger 108 drive flanges versus these are hundreds, but they're all interchangeable. So I've got that dilemma to sort out. That won't be resolved until, the new year. I'll speak to a transmission guy. But anyway, back on the engine here, I've finally got the right pulley for the supercharger. So here is the balance shaft pulley, and that's what I'll be replacing. I made some quick notes from my machinist to change the pulley. So this here is an AT10 36 tooth. It's basically the same diameter of that, which means it fit this, obviously will fit in this recess, although that tang will have to be cut off because the belt's going to go through that side. So this aluminium pulley is going to replace this steel pulley. All this detail has to be machined in here. Same on the back. That recess there, that locates on the timing belt pulley on the crank. Also, it has one hole offset slightly, and that can only go in one position. So all that detail has to be in there. So that's going to drive the supercharger when it's machined. And that will give me 1.8 to 1 drive ratio, meaning the engine will spin 1 rev and the supercharger is going to spin 1.8 revs. That means I'll have the gear ratio pretty, I wanted 175, but 180 is close as I can get. That means that even if I achieve 8,000 RPM on this, which is probably unlikely, more like 7,500, generally 7,000, I will, even at 8,000, I will not overspeed the max RPM limit of the supercharger. And also with the 1.8 ratio, I will build boost quicker. So this will be will help with the turbocharger because it pulls air through the turbocharger. And looking at the electronics, I can have the wastegates one bypass the other, so it becomes on the turbo at a quicker speed. Because in real sense, supercharger is just here for historic nod to the car, because if I just did it turbocharged, somebody would say, oh, it's supposed to be supercharged and turbocharged. Well, it's going to be. Hopefully it all works out. So that's it. I've got T45 tube order coming, and I settled on 40mm because I really examined that Marchese built chassis from Modena for that 2000 year S4, and you know, to everything I check on it, it's 40 mil, and my Stratus here is built in 40 mil, but it's 40 by 1.5, and I'm choosing 2 mil on the lower rails just for safety's sake. You know, your 1.5 is what they built the original S4 in, but they also had to put, as you see from these drawings, they had to put this reinforcing strip which was welded on front and back, and that was to beef it up because it was so thin. And if go 2 mil, I don't need to do that, and that's a lot of work to punch that strip out and then weld all that in. That's a lot of welding, so it doesn't make much difference. I think it'll add about 5 kilograms, 6 kilograms to the bottom edge of the car, so not enough to make any difference. So that's that on the chassis. Oh, I've got a new toy here, a bit hard to see. This is a rotor broach. It's a 355 millimeter cold cutting steel saw. So this is going to speed everything up. This is my tube notcher for doing the tube profiles on the tubes. I've already paid extra for the tubes to be cut very close to the size I need them, so the ladder frame will go together really quickly, because all I've got to do is cut one fish mouth tube on there, come over here, use the meal, cut the second one. So that's my cross braces, and I've got 5 of them. 4 of them are in the middle, one's at the front, and so this ladder frame will go together very quickly, but I've got to get this car off the jig. So as you see here, the tubes I mentioned before on this Stratus, I finally got those in. I've got a bit more work on the other side to do, profiling, before I can fully weld it up. I'll get those welded on, and then this thing over Christmas is going to come off the jig, and I can rearrange my shop. I've got a pedal box for the S4, and I can't dig it out. I don't have enough time, and I'll make the video too long, but it's similar to, it's not a wheel wood. I've got from ones with the cylinders are in front and they're angled, so it's low profile. You know, I know the S4 has the master cylinders in the firewall, but that just makes things more work. It's easier to put one that's all self-contained, and I'm going to do everything I can to ease manufacture. And obviously these modern type pedal boxes didn't exist back in the day. They do now, so why go, you know, backwards? I'll have a modern pedal box. Got all my door locks, door handles, switch control for the indicators. I've got rear lights, all little, anything I can buy, I'm buying. And hopefully in early part of January, I'm going to pick up that body. This car's still going to delay me because I've got quite a lot of work to do, but I'm going to make progress wherever I can. So that's it in a nutshell. One thing that I need to get the drive sorted out on here, because the next thing is to mount the dry sump pump, and engine's going to tilt, and I'm really hoping, although I can't be sure, it'll be a lot easier if I can mount the pump that way, but I won't know all the clearances at the moment. It's going to be very tight, but hopefully it'll work out. I can mount it that way, but I'm going to have a manifold fabricated from the oil drains at the bottom of the pan there over to here. But really, that's not important at the moment because it's not even sitting in the frame. These are really things that can only be really decided once the engine's sitting in the base part of the frame, and I'm trying to do the roll hoop and everything. And then I can visualize, you know, where all these tubes come in, you know, to where they converge. I'm probably going to have the engine slightly further forward in the car than the S4 did. You know, I don't know how much. I mean, it might only be 25 mil. Anything will help, because, you know, obviously the diff is separate from the engine, so it doesn't make any difference. But that's basically all I can show for more at the moment. to me, it's very frustrating that I'm waiting for so much, you know, parts and everything, but that's just the nature of the beast. So I got to just be patient, and then I got to clear out my own things out of the way so I can get on with this chassis. But because my whole plan is to have this car mechanically built by this time next year. Let's see if that happens.